After that, Alistair finally woke from his long slumber.
Oh, heck yeah, we're getting after he woke up too. Please be somewhat decent.
Ryoushi, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
I apologize for causing so much trouble. I heard all about it from the others.
Yeah, we were all worried sick. Not just me, but Eureka, Woolfe, and my folks, too.
Right.
How are you feeling? Any pain or dizziness?
I'm okay.
Good. Glad to hear it. I ran a series of basic tests, but didn't notice any abnormalities. However, following his extended coma, he had lost the ability to walk and, to his great disappointment, he couldn't eat solid foods.
That's oddly specific to Snow White.
He would likely need to undergo weeks of physical therapy. Nevertheless, he looked completely at peace. How are you feeling emotionally?
Oh, I feel great. Like I woke up on the right side of the bed or something.
Do you remember anything about what happened? Okay.
I had this really magical dream.
What was it about?
It was a fairy tale about the Looking Glass world, where a brave princess rescued her princes.
Isn't it normally the other way around?
Yeah, but the princes all had deep emotional trauma, and they needed help. That's where the princess came in. The stories were all messy and chaotic. Not just fun, but thrilling too. I was eager to find out what would happen next. And at the end of each story, the princess would heal the prince's heart, and they'd live happily ever after. Honestly, it's all kind of a blur now. I can't remember any of the small details.
Yeah, that's how it goes with dreams.
But I think Eureka must have been behind it. And the protagonists of the stories were the personalities inside me. She saved all of us.
The story Alistair recounted did sound an awful lot like whatever Eureka was reading to him. Now I was starting to understand why she kept it from me. She must have chased after him, all the way into his dreams, just to help him. So, can you tell what all your other personalities are up to? For a moment, Alistair averted his gaze and closed his eyes.
I think they're probably sleeping. They're having magical dreams deep in my heart.
Because of the one you had.
I think so. They must be dreaming about the epilogues that come after their happy endings.
Interesting. So when they're not in the darkness, they're in their separate spaces, their dream worlds, and they're experiencing their epilogues now. It's interesting, he has like a bit of a connection to them now and can sense vaguely, maybe not specifically, but vaguely what they're doing. So he is able to communicate with them a little bit better, that's good.
He slowly opened his eyes and looked back at me.
Sorry, I know that's really vague.
No, that's okay. I get it.
Good.
He smiled, relieved. All traces of his grief and misery had vanished from his face.
During the dream, I was finally able to talk to them, Ryoushi. They had their own unique appearances and voices and viewpoints and everything. And they each had struggles of their own, which I got to see tiny glimpses of here and there. As a result, I'd like us not to unify them, please.
Okay, so he remembered enough detail about the conversation to be like, we agreed on not unifying.
Is that what all of you have decided as a group?
Yes, sir. We talked it out and reached a solution that everyone accepts. From now on, everyone gets an equal vote.
Democracy, huh? He nodded.
So, with that being said, are you able to go back in there and have votes? And what are you going to vote on going forward? Curiouser and curiouser.
Think you can make it work from now on?
Yeah. The happy ending doesn't magically solve everything. My story's not over yet. And neither are theirs. But that's okay. We all just want to make our princess happy.
I see. Based on everything you've said, it does seem like you've achieved some level of emotional stability.
I mean, you should probably monitor him going forward. But, because think back to the last time we thought he was emotionally stable and how well that went. So, just keep an eye. I'd love for it to be true, but keep an eye.
He had already made up his mind. All that remained was for me to support him 100%.
I mean, that's certainly true. He's come to a decision, so support is good.
If that's the decision you've all come to, then you have my vote. Like in any good fairy tale, the hunter's job is to help the protagonist.
Right.
As for your pills, well, you'll still have to take them for a while, but I don't see any other glaring issues, so I estimate you'll be discharged in no time.
Thank you so much.
His reaction made me chuckle. But just as I was thinking of ending the appointment,
Oh yeah!
just then he seemed to remember something.
Please tell me it's that Snow wants to say hi for 5 minutes.
That reminds me. I met Snow White.
My eyes widened at the familiar name, but a smile quickly followed. I see. How's he doing?
Really great. His story had a happy ending like all the rest.
Did it? I'm glad to hear it.
You knew Snow White, right?
You could say that. I owe him a lot. He's the one who encouraged me to become a hunter.
I never knew that.
After a long silence, Alistair summoned his resolve.
That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. I mean, I know we had the dream thing, but that didn't make any sense. This is all I wanted.
Listen, I think Snow White wants to see you. If you're both cool with it, he could use my body and...
Oh, Ryoushi! He said that Snow wants to see you. He wants to. Oh. And it was taken from me at the last second. I can't believe.
But I shook my head. His story's already reached its happy ending, right? I don't need anything more than that.
But...
He tried to insist, but I shook my head once more. Alistair, I appreciate the gesture. But as much as I care about Snow White, I care about you too. You have only just woken up, and you've been freed from a metric ton of stress. I can see you're riding the high right now.
Okay, you know what? That is a fair point. That is a fair point. But maybe after some time has passed, you could say hello for 5 minutes? Wouldn't that be swell? I think it'd be swell.
So I think what's most important is that you take some time to collect yourself.
Right.
I mean, to be fair, Snow probably needs some time to collect himself, too. After everyone's collected, can we collect together in a dialogue? You know, I'm just saying, that's my vote. This is a democracy, right? We can have a vote on this?
In life, not everything can be explained by logic and rationality.
Is this your way of saying you are not going to explain a logical reason for how Eureka did what she did? Fine.
No doctor in history had ever attempted to chase a patient into his dreams to forcibly solve his problems. Sure, it worked out this time, but in most cases this level of success was a fluke at most.
I'm glad we can acknowledge that. Oh, thank God. Sorry for crying and stuff. I'm just so relieved. Aw, Allie Sue. Thank you, Woolfe. I'm honestly so grateful that you were there for me. Darn right I was. What are friends for? It's all part of the job. Oh, Woolfe. You could have waited like 2 minutes. Maybe she would have smooched him and but then she would, after everything she put Alistair through and he wants to make her happy, that's not fair either. Woolfe needs another girl. He needs a better girl. I mean, Alistair and Eureka have kind of just full hog committed to, you know, jumping into the ditch they've dug, so maybe we should lead them to it. But Woolfe, there's still hope for Woolfe. Somebody get this boy a nice girl.
Sorry to interrupt this touching moment. I stood behind them and smacked each of them over the head.
Ow! Gah!
For starters, both of you are in deep trouble. They turned back to look at me in horror.
What exactly are you going to get them in trouble for? Making up fan fiction? But I like it. What's the punishment?
I heard the whole story from Alistair. You combined hypnotherapy with role-playing.
Oh, through hypnotherapy. How do you hypnotize somebody who's in a coma? Just out of curiosity.
Eureka looked away awkwardly. Looking back, she must have been researching this idea when she was reading all those books in my room. And she kept it a secret from me, so I wouldn't be held accountable if anything went wrong.
That and she probably didn't want you to stop her.
Did you seriously think you could read one book and become an expert? You could have permanently damaged him. You could have broken his personalities and rendered him comatose forever.
It was my idea. Woolfe tried to stop me. That's not true!
Well, you're both in trouble for this. I shrugged my shoulders. In the end, Alistair woke up, so technically we can consider this a happy ending. But there was a chance he could have woken up as someone else entirely. Would you have been satisfied with that?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm glad you're both showing remorse. I glanced at each of them, then turned away. As for Alistair, I imagine he'll be discharged in no time at all. Lucky you.
Yay!
Behind me I could hear my sister's delight.
Still hasn't learned a goddamn thing. Neither have you.
Biting back a smile, I headed back into the hospital.
I don't even know what word I'm trying to say. I don't think there is a word to describe it.
Later. After work, I sighed as soon as I left the building. Tomorrow, Alistair would finally be leaving the hospital. At long last, a weight would be taken off my chest. That being said, there were a lot of other problems we needed to address as a family.
Yeah, you all need professional help.
He would need follow-up appointments for observation, and we'd need to discuss his education, too. Still, I was feeling optimistic. After years of dysfunction, our family was finally making an effort to be normal and healthy.
Oh? News to me? What did I miss? Done with work?
Just then, Eureka showed up out of nowhere. What are you doing here?
Waiting for you. Thought maybe we could go home together.
Then give me a heads up at least. It gets dark early out here in the countryside, so you need to be more careful.
I know. I'll be careful.
She walked up next to me, smiling like she'd done nothing wrong. I didn't bring the car today. You cool with walking?
Sure. I mean, if not, too bad.
I set off at a slow pace to accommodate her walking speed. Why were you waiting for me anyway? Need to talk about something.
No, not really. But I get the feeling we won't be spending much time just the two of us anymore, and it makes me sad. I mean, once Alistair's discharged, I'm not gonna have time to take care of you.
Since when do you take care of me? If anything, I'm the one who cleans up your messes.
I'm sorry.
Huh. Wasn't expecting you to actually apologize.
Hey, I always Yeah!
Careful! When she lost her balance, I reached out to her on reflex, but I was too late.
Ow, ow, ow! Let me guess, you sprained your ankle and now he needs to carry you all the way home.
You okay?
Yeah. My legs just kinda gave out.
Can you stand? I reached down to her and offered her a hand.
Thank you.
Does it hurt?
I scraped my knee.
I see that. Should have brought the car.
It's okay. I'll be fine.
She attempted to push herself up, but her face twisted in pain. Good grief. I knelt in front of her.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna give you a piggyback ride, alright? Now get on.
My goodness. You're strong. Strong 30-year-old boy. Giving your sister a piggyback ride. I miss having piggyback rides, just as a side note. Those are fun. You don't mind?
You're injured. I don't have a choice.
Okay then. Thanks.
I could feel her warmth against my back.
Am I heavy?
Not really. Now hold on tight.
Alright, let me take a look at this. Alright. Okay.
What's so funny, you little creep?
You're really tall, huh? The view from up here is so different.
That's the perk that comes with height, I guess.
How tall are you again?
6'1".
Wow, that's so tall! Now I get to see exactly what you see every day! Sugoi! But I kinda wish you would have carried me bridal style. Piggyback rides are for kids. Hey, as much of a fan as I am also the bridal style brother, and he did that to you already this route, okay?
Keep talking like that and I'll drop you.
No! Hey, Ryoushi?
What?
You're the coolest.
You said that before.
Oh, you remembered! We never spoke much when we were younger, but we're on pretty good terms now, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, probably.
All thanks to Alistair. He brought our whole family together. In a way.
Yeah, we owe him a lot, don't we?
Mm-hmm. Mom and Dad worked really hard for us, too. They helped us behind the scenes. To be totally honest, I was scared they might disown me, but they didn't. Really? You were honestly worried about that. I'm surprised. And that meant the world to me.
Well, don't get too comfortable. You need to make up for all the trouble you caused.
I know. I'll do better from now on.
Good.
You sound like a big brother.
Damn right I do. I am your big brother.
Ugh. Aww, I love you, Ryoushi.
Hey! Don't squeeze me like that. You're gonna trip me up.
Sorry.
Good grief. You're always such a damn troublemaker.
Yeah, I know. I'm your mischievous little sister. And I always will be.
Then I guess I have no choice but to keep looking out for you.
My little troublemaker. That was the ending, eh? Huh. Hey. I haven't heard this song in a hot second. Ooh. And we get new visuals, is what the word I'm looking for the credits. Wow. I really don't know what to say. I'm surprised they didn't do a new credit song, considering the new opening. But anyway. Okay, I will say I am satisfied by that ending. Mostly. I like that they, tried to create a plausible explanation for how Eureka did what she did with Alistair. I can suspend my disbelief enough to buy into it. I mean, it is a tale of fiction anyway, so that was fine. I liked that Alistair offered to Ryoushi that, Snow would like to talk to you. Even though he refused, right then, it did make sense that he refused. And I'd like to hope that when things settle, that he will come and, they'll be able to talk again. Also gives me hope that the other personalities can still come out when they want, but now that they can communicate with Alistair, they can just talk about it. And everyone's agreed, no taking over willy-nilly. All parties had to be consenting, so Alistair's definitely in a much healthier mental space now, which is great. I'm glad that Eureka at least got scolded. And it does sound like there are some actual ramifications for what she did as well. She is in trouble with everybody. They didn't detail, what kind of trouble she's in, but at least she is in trouble. I would like to believe she's going to try to make changes, but I don't know if I believe her. And she's a little too close. Her and Ryoushi are a little too close as siblings, I think, maybe. There were some lines that were at least towed, if not crossed, throughout, so our story goes on. But I really like Ryoushi. Just side note, for the most part, he was very solid. I loved seeing everything from his point of view. He's a great narrator of what went down. Okay, we don't need to see the intro again either. But yeah, I really enjoyed having Ryoshi's perspective, seeing, he was cognizant, at least, of what was going on, even if he sometimes, I don't even know the right wording. I'm trying to think how do I want to put this? He'd acknowledge that his sister's, majorly messed up, but then tell Alistair, oh, you have to, you should get closer to her. Didn't you just say and think that they're too dependent on each other? Why are you encouraging this again? For example, so sometimes his actions didn't match up with his words, but it's hard to do that when there was already an established story and they were trying to, you know, make Ryoshi sympathetic and sane. For the most part, I think they did a good job. I could nitpick for sure, but I think for the most part they did a good job, and I appreciated that at least somebody was like, there's something wrong with this girl. But he is not immune to her spells either, and it's worrying. It's really worrying. I'm like so curious what magic powers this girl has over everybody. But anyway, that is going to do it, guys. I hope you enjoyed Ryoshi's Route. He has another ending. I don't know what that's going to entail. All I know is that I have to pick the other option, which is letting Eureka stay with us. Which makes me worried now. What is that going to change exactly? Is it just going to be like small flavor things? Or is it going to be a significantly different ending? I assume Alistair must still wake up, right? It'd be really weird if it didn't. If Alistair doesn't wake up, then I guess I can consider that not true ending. But we will get to that and we'll see what the ending actually entails for us instead of me speculating for the next 10 minutes or something ridiculous. So, I'ma shut up now. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me. Hope you enjoyed. And hopefully I'll see you for the next ending for this boy and we'll experience whatever horrors may be there. Hopefully it's not too bad, but we'll see. Anyway, until next time, I will see you later.